Um, Welcome back. I'm flying solo today, but you know, a thought came to me the other day, or I was actually inspired by a conversation that I was having regarding dreams and aspirations. I know it's a bit of piggybacking on the last couple of videos where Marvin and I talked about New Year's goals and resolutions, but yeah, so I was thinking about dreams and aspirations. I know the terms have been used interchangeably or together a lot of times, but they're two different things. Now, dreams are a bit more of like, or hopes, desires, of the future. It's more on the ideas side, it's more abstract. Whereas aspirations is a little bit more concrete. You have a plan as to like what you want to work towards to achieve your goals, your desires, your hopes, stuff like that. Now, say for example, I have a dream of being a track star. Now, the aspiration would be, I guess, if I'm in high school, first try to join the track team or to try out to become a part of the team. I make it to be a part of the team, and then I work out, I eat healthy, do everything that I need to do to eventually, you know, rank up. I'm not sure how the ranking goes when you go to different meet or, attend different leagues or whatever. And then eventually I'm at the Olympics. Now, yeah, so that's kind of like the difference between dreams. Like, okay, I have the idea of what I want to do, and then aspiration is actually doing what is needed to take place to get to where you want to go. So, I believe that we tend to have dreams as early as we realize that we can think for ourselves. As early as like 3 or 4 or so, like that. Where a little girl might be like, oh, I want to be a mom when I grow up, or I want to get married, or I want to be a teacher, something like that. We always have something that we want to strive towards. But as we get older, sometimes our dreams shift. We're exposed to more things, so we kind of have an idea of what else is out there and what our options are a little bit wider. So somebody might be, oh, I want to be a pilot, or I want to be a nurse, or I want to own my own business or help the needy, because as we're social beings, so sometimes we start thinking, or sometimes we get to a place in our life where we start thinking about others and not just like what we would benefit from our dreams. But there are various categories that fall within dreams, and some of them were mentioned in the previous videos, where some were career related, where I want to be a doctor, or some are more personal development related, like I want to learn a particular skill, like I want to cook, I want to sew, I want to learn a different language, or travel and lifestyle. I want to learn more about other cultures, I want to travel, eat different kind of food, get exposed to music, different things like that. But one thing I would mention regarding dreams and aspiration, because we know that there's certain things that are absolutely out of our control. Like, for example, if I try to do something but I'm not physically able to do it, like I have this desire to do something, physically able to do it, then that's out of my control. So we have to be realistic when it comes to goals, because otherwise, it can affect our confidence. So, using myself as an example, if I were to say that next week I'm going to climb Mount Everest, that's probably not realistic. However, if someone that has climbed some other mountain that's a little bit not as high as Mount Everest said that they're gonna climb Mount Everest in the next like 2 or 3 months, then maybe, you know. But like for me, it would take months of training or even years for me physically. Talking about Sharita, to be able to do something like that, because then otherwise I'd be like 2 hours in and I'm like, oh, I can't handle this. So then my confidence would be shot. because I would feel like I'm not able to achieve what I had set myself out to do. So we have to be realistic with our dreams. I know when we're younger, we don't really have much, our thought process is not really there yet, but as we get older and we kind of like have an idea of what all it takes to achieve what we're working towards, then we gotta be a little realistic. And then sometimes we just gotta accept where we are. So again, with my example of climbing Mount Everest, if 2 hours in I'm like, oh, I can't make it, then I was like, all right, Sharita, this is where you're at. We got to think about this. Like, do I want to continue? And if I continue, like, what would I do differently? And maybe tomorrow, if I did 2 hours today, maybe tomorrow I can do 2.5. Or I would be like, okay, I'll leave climbing Mount Everest to climbers and I will go home and read a book or something like that. You know, but yeah, so sometimes we have to take a step back and change the way that we think about ourselves, instead of like in that moment started feeling like a downer and start having like self-pity and stuff like that. I have to think the way that I'm thinking about myself in the moment, because then that will shift how I want to move forward, like especially like in a positive way, because then I'd probably have learned something from that experience that could help me towards some other goals, or dream that would probably pop up. But yeah, we just have to show ourselves grace and kindness. I know it's harder for us to show compassion to ourselves. It's easier for us to do it to others, but when it comes to ourselves, we're a little bit harder on ourselves. But yeah, it's like just a little encouragement to anyone out there that's having something that they would like to work towards, with a particular school that you're wanting to apply for, or you want a particular career, or you're changing your career, or you're wanting to learn a new language, like I mentioned earlier. Like, it it's doable, and don't let somebody else's thought of what your dream is to kind of like diminish how you feel about it, because it's personal. So you should go for it, you know what I mean? And another thing I'd point out is like, whatever you do, just kind of like put God first. Like, if you have an idea of something you want to work towards, present it as like Proverbs 13 verse 6, and this is the King James Version, says, commit thy works unto the Lord, and thy thoughts shall be established. A couple verses down in verse 9, and this is the New Living Translation, it says, we can make our plans, but the Lord determines our steps. And we have that very well-known verse of Philippians 4:13 that says, I can do all things through Christ that strengthens me. So just a little quick recap. This, everybody, we have our dreams, we have our aspirations, and we can always work towards them. Just be sure to keep in mind that we're being realistic, and if we have a little setback, if we get a little speed bump, it doesn't mean that we're never ever gonna achieve our goals, or our dreams or stuff like that. It's just that in that moment, that's not where you need to be. Okay, so that's all I have for today. Thank you so much for listening. Be blessed and chat soon. Bye.